And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I apologize for the extended break, but I promise it is worth it, as a lot of the other qualifying matches have been wrapping up. A lot of them are concluding, and we are here still with another. We have found our ways into DIMAGA versus FightingFrog. We are mid-series. We are getting to game number 4. Now, because we are mid-series, predictions will not be open for this series. You know, we're already coming into this, and it's already leaning in one direction, so let's get into it. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hecate, we have the Ukrainian Zerg player representing Berserker Esports. It is DIMAGA. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Swedish Protoss player representing Team Little Fairy. It is FightingFrog. The Fairies are coming out strong, and again, it's not the first time that we've casted FightingFrog. We've casted him plenty of times, especially in the WTO qualifiers. Little Fairy, or he did join Little Fairy to compete in WTL, and he has been doing so for the past couple of seasons. It's great to see him here once again, and I'll be honest, I am a little bit surprised. I'm a little bit surprised that he's leading the series 2-1. Apparently, last game, game 3, was a long macro game. It was around 20 or so minutes long between DIMAGA and FightingFrog. And DIMAGA did end up falling to his opponent. And again, that does kind of correlate a little bit with what we know about DIMAGA. You know, we've been casting a lot of DIMAGA over Sparkling Tuna Cup and WTL for Berserker Esports, and DIMAGA, he thrives in the mid game. He's the kind of player that he's one of the best players when it comes to getting up towards 66 workers and just maxing out on Ling Bane, Roach Ravager, and just snowballing out of control. And yeah, he's even been looking good against some of the Korean Protosses as well. He has gone toe-to-toe with some of the best that Protoss have to offer, and he's looked good at doing so. Especially in the mid game, I should mention as well. If FightingFrog opens standard, if FightingFrog does go for a quirky opener, then that's when DIMAGA can sometimes struggle instead. But we'll see. We'll see what direction we head in. As so far, it is going to be a gate expand into a Cybercore standard opener out of FightingFrog. Likewise, DIMAGA going for a hatch gas pool. I don't really think of DIMAGA as being too cheesy of a player outside, of course, 3-way soul-ins, or just 3-way saturation and just maxing out over and over and over again. We saw a lot of that in the last patch, but I believe this is the first time that I'm casting DIMAGA on the new patch. We haven't seen him in the Sparkling Tuna Cups recently, and yeah, we have yet to cast him representing Berserker Esports in recent times as well. So I'm excited. I'm ready to see how he's embraced the new patch and the new maps. Likewise, I can say the same for FightingFrog as well. For now, it's going to be a Stargate opener out of FightingFrog. Stargate thrown down here at the natural base to fully wall off. And yeah, just being that much more efficient here with his opener. Ling dips on in, but Ling does get shut down to at least confirm the Stargate and the positioning of it as well. So DIMAGA is aware of the opener, and he should be aware he's safe to drone up and position his queens and defend his bases. At least initially. There it is. First Oracle is on the way. It's going to be making its way across the map. Likewise, the Adept doesn't quite make it through either. So far, everything is looking as it should. As DIMAGA, he's going to be sending a wave of Lings here towards the right-hand side. The goal here is to deny the third base if possible. There is an Adept in position, but only a singular Adept. The Oracle does come out in time and does get here just in time to deal with these Lings. We get a surround, but with the activation of the Pulsar Beam, the Lings have to respect it. They have to back off, and they have to get the hell out of here. Ooh, as quite a lot of Lings will go down. Good stutter stepping with that Oracle. As DIMAGA does get out with a decent chunk of them, to be fair, to be able to dip back in again. But now we have a second Adept, and now the Nexus is about to finish up as well, so the likelihood of DIMAGA denying the space is that much lower. We'll see if he can maybe pick off a probe, but alas, again, too strong of a position here for FightingFrog. He's got 3 more gates behind this. Does end up losing a probe, so we get something at least. DIMAGA is still just focusing on saturating his bases. Spores are about to finish up. 2 queens in the main. We have 1 queen here at the natural. The Oracle making its way towards the third base. A lot of spores being thrown down, actually, even one in between the bases. I wonder what happened in the games past. I wonder if FightingFrog has been getting a lot of damage done, which would lead to DIMAGA getting a 4th spore. Jesus. Again, a bit of an overreaction, but it could just be because of how much FightingFrog has been doing these past couple of games. As it's up to 3 oracles. Behind this, we have a Twilight Council into a Robo. Delayed Forge out of FightingFrog, important to point out. To have a delayed Forge instead. And I'm curious as to how committed we are going to be then. So far, only 4 gateways, so nothing to really write home about. If we threw down additional gateways, it could be the beginnings of a 3-base all-in. But for now, he is going to be moving out across the map. It's going to be on DIMAGA to make sure that he doesn't lose too much, as he does spot the move out. Does spot the stalkers at least. And we have our answer. With that Robo, we're going straight into a base, straight into a Forge. The Forge was delayed, but we can see why. It's to kind of line things up a little bit better here with the eventual Colossi. As FightingFrog is going for a very tech-heavy style. Again, because he only has 4 gateways, he shouldn't really be too active with these stalkers. He can't afford to lose them. He has to defend back at home. There's the second Robo. And again, the goal here for FightingFrog is to defend, is to survive, and to get into his Colossus production. Meanwhile, for DIMAGA, we can go one of 2 ways. We can either recognize what's happening and tech up into Hive, or we can try to kill FightingFrog before he can get into his Colossus production. Now, it's DIMAGA we're talking about, so he's probably going to try and kill him. DIMAGA is drawn up to 60. He's working on his creep highway through the center of the map. 22 more lings are on the way instead of drones, so we are refusing to saturate this base. We're getting up to oh my god, triple Robo production, papi. Ay, ay, ay. And there we go. The first Colossus is on the way. We are on a timer. DIMAGA, he's working through these rocks. He's droning. I'm not too sure about this, but after amassing an army, now he decides to drone, and this may be a little bit too late. Ideally, these workers would have been ideal earlier instead, and this army that DIMAGA has amassed hasn't done anything. In a way, it has been wasted larva. As we can see across the map, he is working with very limited information. He doesn't quite know what's going on. He is taking up into an infestation pit. DIMAGA is going for a hive, which means that DIMAGA won't attack, which means that FightingFrog is getting away with this. He's getting away with just staying back at home with a relatively small army. Colossus, Disruptors, everything is on the way, and FightingFrog, he will soon amass a terrifying ground toss army. One that will surpass what DIMAGA has at the moment. Lingbane Roach Ravager does well in the mid game, but FightingFrog, he's rushing past the mid game. Temple Archives on the way. The quality of this army getting higher and higher. Oracles attempt to harass across the map. They don't really get too much done. At least FightingFrog confirms saturation at the 4th, which means he knows that he is safe to expand and take his own 4th. More Banelings are on the way. Ravagers as well. DIMAGA now focusing on his army. He's about to max. He is about to hit critical mass of Lingbane Roach Ravager. Hive is on the way. But there's no Hydroden for lurkers. There's no Spire to get into Broodlords. It's just Lingbane Roach Ravager with Vipers maybe to support. I do have to give the edge to FightingFrog here. He may be down in army supply, but the quality, Poppy, that's what matters most here. Lings move out. Unfortunately, they get one stasis trap, but they miss the others. We now have eyes on the Robos. Oof. That's a lot of Robo, Papi. We're making 3 Colossi at a time. It's obscene. It's crazy. DIMAGA's maxed. He's moving out. He's going to be trying to break this 3rd base. FightingFrog out of position. Stasis trap has been triggered. Now we're rolling on in. Here we go. The Baileys, they do crash past the pylons into the mineral line. The boys, though, they are pulled out. The workers do escape. Good reaction here out of FightingFrog. Nova's going to be going off as well. Decent connections. Nothing too major, but does connect with some of the roaches. Oof. And DIMAGA, he's trading with the infrastructure. He does get a base, but the army of FightingFrog stands strong. Even the Oracle's focusing on whatever Ravagers they can. Good target firing here out of FightingFrog. Oh my god. Getting a lot done, and honestly, we can keep pushing. And here we go. The counterattack is upon us. FightingFrog sending everything across the map. How much do we have? 5 Colossi, 3 Disruptors, a Prism to reinforce and to control, to juggle even. No Ravagers remaining. We do have some Lings coming in for us around. We do have a couple of Banelings as well. Oh god, but this is not looking good for DIMAGA. One shot, one opportunity. That's all he has here. He needs the perfect engagement. He needs to come in from behind. He needs to trigger these stasis traps ahead of time. Somehow these Banelings have to connect with the core of this army. And here we go. He's going for it. He is pulling the trigger. Ah, god, but he cannot push in. Not into this position. Here we go. The Lings, they come in from behind. The Banelings, they do crash forward. Good connections from the Banelings. They take down 2 Colossi, but the other 3 survive. Again, we had 5 to begin with, and the army crumbles. FightingFrog, he is breaking through. He has dealt with the main army, and he is snowballing out of control. The Lings, the Roaches, they're all going down. Stasis Trap did run out. He gets 1 Colossus. Oh, he's going for the others. DIMAGA trading well here. Where was the Prism? We did not bring the Prism with the Colossus. We could not juggle. We could not save them. Back at home, though, we're making 2 more. We're reestablishing this 4th base. The 3rd, now a 4th. So that was a good moment for DIMAGA, but even then, even after killing all the Colossi and the Disruptors, it's still not good enough. As FightingFrog backs off. Interesting. I think we could have kept going. Maybe not into the natural, but maybe some of these fringe bases, as DIMAGA has a lot of hatcheries. He has a decent economy. Decent, not amazing. It's 69, sorry, 68. Almost nice. So do you see FightingFrog now scouting, coming across these bases, and he's going ham in this mineral line. Oof. 6 drones do go down. Again, FightingFrog, he doesn't know about this base either. Otherwise, I'm sure he would have. If he knew about this hatchery, then he probably would have rotated over to deny it. As he's just rebuilding his Colossi. You can see FightingFrog on the cusp of maxing out. DIMAGA is still licking his wounds. He is still attempting to recover. Here we go, DIMAGA just getting in position, looking to try and get into that mineral line. If possible, he can try to even things up. If he can cripple the economy of his opponents. And here we go, the Banelings are rolling in. Do roll into the probes. Oh, they do run past. The Banelings, they crash into the Colossi, but the Colossi, they take them out. And this is going to be a rough trade here for DIMAGA. He loses all of the Ling Bane. He's down to his Roach Ravager. Units that he cannot afford to lose. Good control there with that Prism, saving some Zealots. The workers are saved, and now they can be sent back. The base is being resaturated, and that was a costly trade for DIMAGA. He lost all of his Ling Bane, and for what? For a couple of Stalkers, a couple of Gateway units. He didn't touch the economy. Colossus count still standing strong. DIMAGA trying to saturate this half goal base. It's something. It could definitely help. Oh. So here we go. We're focusing on our push. And the Biles, they barely do take out the shields of some of the Colossi. But we can still break on through. Biles once again. Oh, they take down the Colossus and some of the High Templar. Very nice trades here from DIMAGA. At the same time, a big Ling counterattack. He is fighting back. He is impacting the economy at least a little bit here. Oh, FightingFrog gets 5 workers. The supplies are closing, or they are catching up now. Again, unfortunately, FightingFrog, he just wasn't looking at the time. And this is still relatively close. I still want to give the edge to FightingFrog. Obviously, I still think he has a stronger main army. But DIMAGA, he's not out. Taking base on the right-hand side. Rebuilding more Lings, more Banelings. He's working on +3 attack, +3 melee. He's got Adrenal as well. Speaking of, his Lings are going ham across the map. They're trading well for themselves. Another 8 workers. They won't quite get the base. They're a little bit wasteful here from DIMAGA. But FightingFrog, he has split up his army. Has he rebuilt his Warp Prism? He has not. No Warp Prism. He won't be able to juggle his units, unfortunately. Won't be able to reinforce. Here we go. We are pushing out. DIMAGA, he has a massive army. At the same time, as soon as the mid-vat happens, we get on top of this 4th base. The Nexus will go down. And now FightingFrog, he has to commit. He has to go in. Vials, they this time do not connect. Grazing one of those Archons. Bit of an overextension. One Archon goes down. Up. Up. A second Archon as well. Meanwhile, the Lings, they do take down that hatchery. Sorry, that Nexus. And we do see FightingFrog just backing off. He's going for these fringe bases instead. Honestly, pretty important, impactful bases here for DIMAGA. He can't afford to lose them. Miles taking down observers. But the base falls, the drones as well. Lings are doing a lot of damage, but FightingFrog, he doesn't care about his economy. Not anymore. It's all about the main army. It's all about the push. And FightingFrog, he is snowballing out of control. The Banelings, again, mainly crashing on Archons and Immortals. They do not trade well, and FightingFrog, he is looking to qualify for the closed qualifiers. DIMAGA, he came so close. He came so close, but again, as we mentioned earlier, DIMAGA, he just wasn't able to stop his opponent from getting into his Colossus production, from getting into this insane army, this death ball of a Protoss army. He got away with triple robot production. 3 Colossi at a time, but it was crazy. And it was too much. GG gets called. Congratulations, as FightingFrog will make it through the open qualifier into the closed. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to FightingFrog for making it through and qualifying, for making it out of the ESL Masters Winter Open Qualifier for Europe. GG. My condolences to DIMAGA. Again, he had a really good showing, really good effort to make it this far, to make it all the way to a qualifying match, but it just barely was not enough. And with that, I believe we have most of our almost all of our qualified players. We do have, from the top, Mixu took down Rostock, and Mixu did qualify for the closed qualifier. We have Nickrat, who took down Azura 3-0. We have Papi, who took down Cougar 3-1. Baby Marine and Namshar are mid-series. They are still in game 4. So actually, that could still go either way. Of course, FightingFrog making it out over DIMAGA. Rodzin took down Trifax, which we did cast on the channel. UED Soldier took down Hydra, and Ashbringer took down Zane. So again, there's only one left. There's only Baby Marine versus Namshar. And again, that is being casted by Rotterdam. So Rotterdam has you covered there. Again, he's casting his boy. Baby Marine, I believe he is on his team. Question mark? No. Oh, sorry. I forgot. Baby Marine is not on Team Roddy. Not anymore. But, you know, I'm sure he's fond of him and he wants to cheer on his boy at once. At one point was his boy. Now on Platinum Heroes. But, yeah, GG. Well played. As yeah, because that's already been casted in English, we may as well just give the reins over to Roddy, and we will be going on an extended break. We have wrapped up the final open qualifier for ESL Masters Winter Europe. The final Open Qualifiers in the books. Tomorrow is the closed qualifier. In less than 24 hours, we will be casting the closed qualifier here on this channel. I believe the brackets are still being generated, so once the qualifier ends, I'm sure keep an eye on social media. The brackets will be live in a couple of hours later on in the day, I imagine, in time for tomorrow. So be sure to check that out. Outside of that, we are going to be going on a short break in 2 hours. In 2 hours time, we're going to be back. We are going to be live with ESL Masters Winter Americas, the Americas second Open Qualifier, the final Open Qualifier. We've been live how many hours? 8. We've only been live 8 hours, but it's nothing, Bobby. It's nothing. We've been live 8 hours, and we're going to be live for many more than that because we're going to be going on a break. I'm going to be getting some food, getting some rest, stretching, taking a bit of a walk. It's 6 a.m. in the morning here in Australia. And again, in 2 hours is going to be the Americas region, which we will be casting. So again, we're going to be going on a bit of a break screen for a while. And then when we come back in 2 hours, we'll have the Americas. So be sure you're there. Be sure you're there for it. Again, the Americas region encompasses Latin America and North America as well. So it's going to be a lot of good fun. And we're going to be there to cheer on our players. Always. I say our players. We're going to have some players in the closed qualifier tomorrow. We have Eric, Papi Eric. He's coming back out of retirement. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. Never heard of FightingFrog. FightingFrog, he's been around for a while, right? Yeah. He has been semi-retired. FightingFrog, he came back recently to play in WTL. But yeah, FightingFrog, he's also old school. Debuted back in 2013, I think. A long time ago. Long time ago, Papi. But regardless, we are going to be going on said break. So yeah, we'll see you guys in a couple of hours. Enjoy yourselves. Get some food. Take a break. Get some water. Enjoy your time while you can. Because you know what? In a couple of hours, we have some more StarCraft. It's not over, Papi. It's never over. Never over. So we'll see you then. Yeah, outside of that, hydrate hydras, stretch your roaches, massage your marines. Follow us on social media. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we are on Instagram, we are on YouTube as well. We upload to YouTube on a daily basis, and we have a Patreon if you want to support us there. You don't have to, of course, but all the money that we make on Patreon and on Twitch goes towards the tournaments that we host, and that's why we're so close with some of these players. We managed to cast players like DIMAGA, like Night Phoenix, Eva, and many others on a more consistent basis over on our channel, just because of the events that we host. And you can help us grow them and have them be more regular and consistent as well, if you wish to. Otherwise, thank you for watching, thank you for the support, and we'll see you guys in a couple of hours. Enjoy the outro.